see a worker comes in between and they try to break it up, and you be like, why did that person act like that with me? What are we gonna do about it? And that person defends them by not defending them, but by simply saying something like, oh, they probably just having a bad day. It's probably just a misunderstanding. Outside our people like that.
Right.
Because you ain't no better than the person who just did all the actual hate slurs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like just being aware of stuff like that helps you understand what type of environment you in, because it's a ripple effect. You know what I'm saying? It continues in a way.
It continues because the behavior was excused.
It was excused, yeah.
So it's basically saying what you did is fine, and I'm just help this person.
Now let me talk to somebody else.
Right.
That's what I need. That's what you do. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell,
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Racism is kind of in our language, you know? I already mentioned this a couple of times, like the word abid, the way it's used in the Arab world. I don't know if it's just in Lebanon or all over. This word means a slave. Yeah, right? And it's like, it basically means a black person in most of the Arab world. So it's already in our lingo.
I got a comment, by the way, on my Instagram telling me, when I wrote the story about the first time someone called me Abda when I was 6 years old and I didn't know what it means. I was playing in a playground with other children, and it was a girl my age. She was also probably 6 or 7. She pushed me and she said, "Ab'adi min wajhi ya Abda." And I was like, well, I didn't even know what the word means. So I went, what it meant. So I went to my mother and I was crying because she pushed me. And like she hurt me, and I went to her and I was like, this girl called me Abda. What does that mean? So like long story short, my mom went there and like an argument happened, and the mother apologized. But how did the 6-year-old know to call a black person Abda?
It's taught.
How did she know that? It was her upbringing. She heard it from her parents or her family. It's the way she was raised. So I told the story on my Instagram, and then I got a comment saying, but I call every black person Abda.
Oh.
I didn't know it was a bad word.
I came to Lebanon in 2017.
Let's talk about that before we move on. Okay, so of course we know racism is something that's taught. Okay, but what's news to me is that a lot of people, especially since we have been vocal about race issues on the channel.
Facts.
A lot of people would say the United States is the only people who have this problem. This race problem. So it kind of like, dang, are we the only ones? But then we have, you know, other people of the black diaspora who will say, no, we deal with it over here too. So it's like, dang, do we stop talking about it? Do we continue to make light on this? Because y'all send us these videos to react to. Yeah. So it kind of puts us in a weird spot because we don't want to be looked at as these people who always talk about race.
No,
but
that's a good point.
As thought leaders, it's like the people want us to talk about it. The people want us to shed light on it. And it also kind of puts us in a weird spot because we do have Arab supporters who like us. Right. You know, and I really do want y'all opinion on this, though. Because this whole topic is news to us. Race issues in the Arab space world.
Well, I guess it's my time to put a little 2 cents.
Oh, don't be doing that like I talk too much.
No. You say beautiful words and you say it in the most angelic way. I love to listen to you speak. All right.
Okay,
but what I was gonna say is, you know, we have friends and supporters from all over the world, an international channel, all ethnic groups. We love y'all, you know what I'm saying? The support is real. Big blessing. But you got to call a spade a spade. Mental diseases are taught, bro. Like, you are teaching hate. And as long as you're going to teach hate, you're not going to never prosper a fine reaction between two people. They ain't going to have a real genuine connection because the hate mentality is always stirred up when they get around somebody that you talk down on. So yeah,
y'all don't even have to go to the therapist because Dion already diagnosed you.
I'm just
told
hey,
the truth.
that's the
It's
fact.
a mental disease.
It is.
It's an obsession of hate.
And I want to go deeper and say that the shoe is always like that. That shoe ain't gonna always fit for the one who always want to show all that hate, because that's gonna. I feel like love is gonna always outweigh the hate.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, and you're growing children up to have an understanding. So how many generations does it take?
Right, they're gonna have their
before
own mind.
Before they be like, you know what? Maybe I want to think differently.
Right, they're gonna have their own mind when they grow up.
My friend don't act like that around me. I'm not gonna continue to talk like that to them. So you know what I'm saying?
It's different now.
It is.
To continue my college education at AUB, and I remember the first day I came and I took the Ethiopian Airlines, and then like the whole plane was full of Ethiopian like young women, and I was so excited because I thought all of them were coming to education or to do something. So I was really happy, and we're trying to talk to each other, but we couldn't understand each other. So I was a bit excited, oh my God, all of these girls, are going to study, they're so lucky, in my mind. So when we came to the airport, one of the staff members told us to have our own line. Why? Like they were like, to have our own line. Like all of the, girls who look like, myself were like standing in their own line. And I didn't know all of them were domestic workers because I had no idea, this system existed in the Middle East. I didn't even know anything about the domestic workers. So we have been standing there for like 2 hours. Nobody came. While the other people who were not domestic workers, who didn't look like us, were just passing by us. So we were shocked. And at the end, like they came and they were like, you have to wait for your boss, or like you have to wait your own turn. And I was like, I'm going to AUB. And they were like, oh, you're going to AUB, and they treat me in a different way. When I told them that, I was with my friend who was also coming with me. So I was shocked. I was lost. And then we just, left the girls while they were on their own line, waiting someone to come and help them.
How have you reacted to what's going on so far?
Well, first of all, I'm Lebanese Liberian, and my mom actually lives in the US, and I have siblings there as well. So, but I'm based in Lebanon and I live here with my dad. So the thing is, like, I had like really mixed feelings because, of course, my heart is with my family in the US, and I was like really, really sad and distraught about everything that's been going on, because it has been going on for centuries now almost. But at the same time, I was kind of a little bit angry with Lebanon's, I don't want to say uprising when it comes to this specific situation, but there was a whole lot of support. I mean, that's amazing. That's beautiful to see. But when you look at the truth on the ground in Lebanon, it's kind of different because there is racism in Lebanon. I'm not saying all Lebanese people are racist, because that would definitely be not true. But there is racism in Lebanon when it comes to people of color in particular, because the way they are looked at, or we are looked at, is kind of different socioculturally.
I'm going to talk about myself and people that I know who are Black. We all experienced it. Microaggressions or like full-blown racist comments, but it happens in our world, and I think people have to address it and admit that it's happening and try their best to be better.
I have been talking about the issue of domestic workers and the discriminations that they face every single day. So seeing that there is a worldwide movement actually, encouraged me to speak about this topic, because as Aziza said, like Lebanon, there's a systematic racism, and sometimes people, they don't even acknowledge that there is, a racism in Lebanon. So when you see the domestic workers and the way they live in Lebanon, it's like they live in a different world. And I always talk about, why do you guys, treat these women in this way? They deserve to live with dignity. They should have, the basic human life or human rights that they have deserved, and still like people have been ignoring this for so long. So this movement actually encouraged me to fight for the rights of these migrant workers, especially now because Lebanon is facing economic crisis, and a lot of migrant domestic workers are being thrown away on the streets and they don't have nowhere to go. So I think this issue needs, to be highlighted, and Lebanese community need to acknowledge that domestic workers deserve to live with dignity. That's the most important thing, and they have to, educate themselves about, what these women deserve.
How has your experience been?
Okay, let's talk about domestic workers. Like, are only black people there black women domestic workers? Because without being fully educated on the topic, I can't really comment, but that is something that I would like to know about.
Yeah, and to deal with like being put on the side while everyone else passed, and then you make a comment saying that, hey, I'm going the same way they're going, there's something going on with this line. Well, let me just say it like this. This is the people I side eye 100%. When you're dealing with a racist individual and they're showing you that they don't like you, they're prejudiced or any such, right? Mm-hmm. And then somebody come in between, let's say a worker comes in between and they try to break it up, and you be like, why did that person act like that with me? What are we going to do about it? And that person defends them by not defending them, but by simply saying something like, oh, they probably just having a bad day. It's probably just a misunderstanding. I side eye people like that. Right. Because you ain't no better than the person who just did all the actual hate slurs. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just being aware of stuff like that helps you understand what type of environment you in, because it's a ripple effect. You know what I'm saying? It continues in a way.
It continues because the behavior was excused.
It was excused, yeah.
So it's basically saying what you did is fine, and I'm just help this person.
Now let me talk to somebody else. Right. That's what I need. That's what you do. You gotta just talk to somebody else about it.
Upon entering, the fashion industry, first in Saudi Arabia and the greater region?
Well, first of all, the reason why I started my Instagram, I never thought that it was going to get this big. Like, I never thought I was going to be, like, famous or whatever in Saudi. The reason that I started it is because, for me, I was looking so hard for representation for Black Arabs. Like, I was trying to find a makeup tutorial for my complexion. I'm very dark-skinned, and what someone else's makeup will look like will not look exactly like mine because my skin is dark. So I was like, for example, trying to look for makeup tutorials, trying to look for wigs tutorials or whatever from someone who speaks my language and looks like me, and I did not see that. I did not find that at all. So the reason why I started my Instagram and my YouTube and all that is because I was like, okay, I can't find Black representation. I'm going to be the Black representation.
For me, I'm not trying to push every female or every woman to go and, like, go to the gym and do that. That's the health perspective. But I'm just trying to do what I do best, and thankfully I'm kind of like inspiring others to do the same. Like, a lot of girls go like, oh, so I can be at a certain age and continue doing sports. Like, of course, like, whatever you want to do, you can do. Whatever you want to be, you can be, as long as you love it and you're putting your heart out there and doing it, then you could do it. And then there's the added value, not necessarily an added value, but again, since we're talking about the issue of color, like, we're trying to, like, show that the diversity of what everyone could do.
Race is an important, topic to be discussed in the Arab world. But if they keep ignoring the fact that there is, a systematic racism in the Middle East, still we will be stuck in that framework that still Black people or people of color are viewed less because of the color of their skin.
Uba Ali, Aziz Zubayti, and Abir Sinder, I would like to thank you all for sharing your experiences with us.
All right, yeah, we're going to end it right there. Make sure you check his channel out, show some love. So, babe, what you think? What's your thoughts on this?
I don't know. This is a very, very new topic for me. Of course, I know there's Black issues all around the world.
All around the world,
but this was my first time seeing Black Arabs. I know Arabs is not the correct term. How do you pronounce it?
Arab. No,
Arabs is.
It is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my bad. This was my first time seeing a representation of them. Honestly, I probably seen someone and just didn't know that you know, they were Arab.
It's very, very, very disappointing to hear racial slurs come from a child.
Definitely.
It should be that should not be happening. I mean, and we all know as adults, we are conscious to say that that happened because of something that was said around a child or taught. But we also know that slavery was a worldwide thing as well. Now, we know we live in times where people are no longer wanting to but think like that, where they say they want to be ugly or ill towards another race or a different person because of those times. But we do have people who still think in certain ways and certain patterns.
And it's passed down.
You know what I'm saying? It's passed down. So it's around the world. You know what I'm saying? Because we was taught to, they was taught to hate us at one point. So it's not.
They still teach their children that. Depending on the family. But we would love to continue this conversation with you guys in the comment section, especially to our supporters in these regions. You know, have a conversation about it. That will change. Just like the vlogger, I believe it was, she was like, a supporter came in her comment section and she was like, I didn't know that is what it meant. I always call every black person that.
That was crazy.
Right?
Ooh,
you know,
history, bro. You gotta educate yourself.
Exactly. You can't just take everything that you're taught as the truth, or, you know, continue to pass those things down.
Yeah.
You know, so let's continue having these conversations in the comment section so that, you know, we can learn from one another.
Facts. That's what it's about.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.